Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We had a question on one of our videos. I think we created a full width slider and somebody was asking about putting a second button in there. Which, as you can see, yep, you can do it. We're going to actually write a bit of code to do this today, but it's pretty easy. And the actual question was, the actual title box here. If I go to the next slide, one over. Within the title background there, they wanted a button here. Usually if you put a button in, it'll be down below here. I'll demonstrate that in a moment. So let's get started. I'm going to start a new page. I'll close this one down. Going to use the Divi builder, obviously. Going to build from scratch. Now I'm not going to do anything here because I want a full width one. We could add a row and a slider and make it full width. I'm going to add a new section right here with a little blue button. I'm going to make it full width, and right down at the bottom we've got a full width slider. There we go. And before I do anything, I'm just going to save that and get rid of that top section. Okay. So we've got a full width slider here. Let's go about sort of customizing it. I'm going to get rid of the second slide there, so we've only got one slide to work with. I'm going to go into the first slide. Okay, I'm going to leave the generic stuff there, but I am going to go to design and just make it a little bit bigger and put an image or something in the background so we can see. Go to spacing. I'm going to give it padding top and bottom of, let's try 150. I might want to give it a little bit more. It's okay. Let's give it a bit more than that. Like all Divi modules, you can change it on mobile and tablet right here. Set different values if you want there. I'm going to leave it fairly simple today, and I'm going to put some padding left and right of say 20%. And again, I'm going to hit the chain. And that pulls it all into the middle for us right there. Let's go into the text, and I'm just going to align that in the middle. Okay. Let's put a background image in there. Okay, so there's our first slide. We've got our content fairly well in the middle there. Now I can't read that content very well, so if we go to our design, and we can use text overlay for that. Here it is. As you can see, that's got a bit of an overlay to it. We can adjust that color. Let's put black in there. You can see it a lot better then. I'll take the opacity down just a little bit. There we go. And as you can see, the buttons are sort of floating around down below there. Now the question was, the guy wanted to put a button within this bit here that we've got the overlay on, and it's pretty easy. You just have to create your own button. So what we can do is go to our content, go to our text, go down. I want to make sure by default it's going to be on visual like that. I'll flip it to text like that. What we're going to do, I'm going to go in there, go down a couple, I'm going to create my own button. So the first thing I want to do is make it into a link. So that's an A tag. Now I can't put all this code down below purely because it's got pointy brackets on it, these things. So I'm going to say A for an A tag or a link, href equals, open and close some inverted commas. Inside is where you put your link. I'll just put a hashtag. Obviously you put your page link or wherever it is you want to take them in there. Then we want to close it and put a closing A tag in there. I'll leave that on the screen for a few seconds so you can see it. It's just an opening, A, href equals, then your link in some inverted commas, and a closing A tag, which is pointy brackets, / and A. Now, whatever we want to link, which is going to be our button, we'll put inside here. So I'm going to say span, again pointy brackets, and close the span again. And in between the two pointy brackets is what we'll put in our button. Or whatever it is you happen to want to put to say in your button. As you can see, we've got a link in there. Now, we really need to turn that into a button now, and to do that we just got to use a bit of CSS code, and I can put all this CSS down below, no problem at all, and I'm happy to. So inside the span, I'm going to give it a class equals whatever we want to call our custom button, and I'm going to call mine, say, BTTNB, button B. Call yours what you want. It's got to be unique and it's got to make sense to you. Now we can style it up. So let's get the color for this button. I'll make it the same color as this button. I've got a little color picker right here. There's that color. I'm going to copy it. Close that one down. Okay, let's start working on our style. So it's style equals, open and close some inverted commas. Inside here we can write some CSS, and we'll move the CSS over to our customizer in a minute in case you want to do some more buttons. So let's say background, and then that color. I've got to put a hashtag, then that hex code, and as you can see, it's put that color in there. And semicolon on our next bit of code. I want that link to actually be white, the same as the one below. So I'm going to say color white, which is FFF. We can just write in F if you want to. There we go. Let's change that right. Now we want to give it some sort of padding all around so it appears more like a button. So let's put another semicolon in, and let's say padding. We'll give it 10 pixels top and bottom. Always adjust it. If you put in one number like that, it'll do all four sides. If you put two, the first one's top and bottom, second one's left and right, so I'm going to put left and right. And you can do four if you want, do them all individually, top, right, bottom and left. That's fine. Okay, that's getting a bit more like it. Let's make our font a little bit bigger. I think it looks like 18 or 20, I think. So semicolon, and we'll say font size. Now let's make it 18 pixels. Not sure that's quite big enough. Let's make it 20 pixels. Yeah, it looks a bit more like that button below. And I think we've got slightly rounded corners on this one. So we'll say border radius. Now I think it's pretty small corners. We'll try 5 pixels. No, that looks more than the one below. Let's try 4 pixels. Maybe even 3 pixels. It's very slight, but they are there. Yeah, I think that'll work. So they look fairly similar there. Okay, well we've got our button. That works pretty well for me. Now, might want to push it down a bit from our text up here. And to do that, we might want to put that up here. So what we're going to do, we're going to wrap this text up here, which is our content right here, in a P tag. And we'll just put a bit of margin on the bottom of that. You can try putting margin on the button itself, but within this it doesn't seem to work for some reason. For instance, if I go back down in here and I add margin top of say 20 pixels, you'd think it would push the button down 20 pixels from the text, but it doesn't actually work. So let's say margin top colon 20 pixels. Nothing. We could try using important, but I really don't think that'll work, so I'm just going to take that bit away. Like I say, all this CSS I'll put down below the video. You're welcome to copy it, use it how you will, but I can't actually put the HTML code up there. Okay, so we put this here, so we can simply say star equals in between the inverted commas there. Let's say margin bottom. And we'll say 20 pixels. There we go, that's pushed that button down nicely. Great. So we've got everything we want there for our new button. So let's actually put all this custom CSS into our customizer so that you can use this class and style any other button if you want to use other buttons elsewhere. So I'm going to copy all the CSS here. And remember, the class name is button B. Let's go to our customizer. Anybody doesn't know how to get to the customizer, it's down to your dashboard, appearance, and then customize. And right at the bottom, you're going to find additional CSS. And with the Divi theme, you can go down to Divi, and in the general tab down the bottom, they've got a CSS panel. It's all the same thing. So we've got to write our class name, and it's a class, so it's button. So it's period, button B. Open and close some curly brackets, and I'll paste that CSS in there, and I'll just separate things. That's fine. Padding, font size, border radius, color. There we go, just tidy that up. We'll publish this. And we can go back here, we can get rid of all this style within here. Just declutters it a little bit. We can save our changes. I'll leave that bit up there, that's fine. Save this, save the page changes. Looks like it's gone back to normal, but when I refresh, it should apply the CSS we put in our customizer. Exit the visual builder. There we are, and it's doing what we want. Now we can set a hover color if you want to right here. Let's just drop this down. While we're in here, let's give it a quick title. It's always a good idea to give things a title. Helps you find things if you write a lot of CSS, and it's a courtesy to anybody that might follow behind you and need to edit the site. So it's // / anything written between the stars there will not be read as code. And to create a hover state, let's copy this class name. I've got a gap up above, I'll just do it right there. Now right after the B with no gap, you want to put a colon and the word hover. Open and close your curly brackets. And just put in a new background color. I'm just going to say black for argument's sake. Now because we're overriding the one below, we're going to have to use important on this, so it's exclamation important. Now we can set a time of how long it takes to fade from one to the other, but we actually want to do this in the regular one here, so we'll use a transition duration dash duration. I'm going to give mine sort of 0.8 of a second, 0.8 seconds. So that should slowly sort of fade into that color. Now if we publish this, go back to here, we'll refresh the page. There we go, and when I hover over it, it should turn black. There we go. And it's taking 0.8 of a second. Now if you want to add a second button, get rid of this one that's already in there, let's enable the visual builder. We'll go in, go into the slide. To add a second button couldn't be easier. To get rid of the first one, just take the writing away from the button right here. As you can see, that bottom one disappears. If we want to add our own, if you want to do it inline, simply copy this, paste it after itself. You've got two buttons there, but we need to give it a bit of space in between. So if we go back to here, we can add a margin. Let's give it a margin of 20. Because the margin top and bottom is not going to work on this, so this will give it 20 left and right, which will give it 40 pixels in between. So I'm just going to write margin 20 pixels, more or less if you want to, obviously. Let's publish this. back to our site. Just want to save this and save our changes, then we can refresh and see. Save the draft and refresh the page. There we go. And you've got two little buttons in line like that. Now if you're going to use it in line like this, you might want to disable it on mobile. It's going to work on tablet. I flip to tablet. That's fine. Now you can adjust your padding and everything, but on mobile they're going to jump on top of each other probably. Yeah, got some weird stuff going on there. So you might want to disable that on mobile. You can adjust the padding, it may work, but I'd probably disable that on mobile. Now if you want those to be on top of each other, let's go back in there. Very easy to do. All we need to do is wrap these, each one of them, in a P tag like this up here. There's our opening P tag. I'll put one right on the end, but we need to put some in the middle as well. Closing P tag on the end, paragraph tag, and I need to put one in between here, a closer and an opener. And as you can see, they've popped on the bottom of each other, and we can steal this style from up here. And we'll give it a bit more. You want to have a bit of separation between the buttons. And then you've got them on top of each other. And this will actually work fine on both tablet and mobile. Let's just save that. Flip to tablet. That's fine. As I say, you can adjust your padding if you want to. And here we are on mobile as well. So there you go. I hope that's answered your question. That's how to add your own buttons, or as many buttons as you want to your slider if you want to. Just have to use a bit of code. Like I say, I'll put the CSS down below, but the HTML you'll just have to take a look at. It's very easy to do. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.